Thank you for listening to Scandinavian Crimes Podcast. Be sure to check out the episode links and be part of our other social media platforms where you can leave a topic suggestion or even share some of your insights regarding the subject matter of the episode. We will always do our best to provide a well-researched episode, but sometimes due to limited access to information and translation issues, some information can be lost. It is therefore good to do your own research and get a deeper understanding of a case of your own interest. So with that all said, let us start today's episode.
Welcome to Scandinavian Crimes. My name is Devante, and say hello to my lovely co-host Delila.
Hi.
And on this podcast, we will cover famous Scandinavian criminals who made their mark throughout Scandinavian history. So today's case is going to be shrouded in mystery in terms of when it comes to the intent of this crime. At least for us, there seems to be some minor inconsistencies regarding some of the details surrounding the motive of the crime, but nonetheless, the story is a tale of how being cautious is important, as well as even the kind of occupation you have as a job can potentially be life-threatening. Also, I want to be clear that this story may seem a little out of control. And when I mean out of control, I mean it might seem a little all over the place, especially while I'm telling it. But that's also related to some other reasons we'll explain during the discussion section. So even if you get a little confused, I promise there will be some sort of clarification, at least so you can understand why the story is the way that it is. So just bear with us this episode and wait till the end, and we'll all get through this together. So don't forget to sit back, grab your tea, grab your snacks, and let's discuss the Orderud case. Our tale commences on a fateful summer day in 1998, specifically on the 17th of July. Anne Orderud Paust, the personal secretary to the Norwegian defense minister, was about to embark on her daily routine. Little did she know that as she made her way to the Ministry of Defense, she was on the brink of a harrowing discovery that would set off a chain of events that defied explanation. And with a sense of foreboding approaching her truck, only to uncover a sinister surprise lurking beneath it. A charged explosive, a 500-gram time bomb of a Solix variety lay anonymously attached. The very air seemed to tremble with the implication of this shocking find. The incident catapulted into the spotlight with extremely high priority, garnering the full attention of the Oslo police. Yet this was merely the prologue to an escalating nightmare. Fast forward to August 12th, a date etched in history with an air of trepidation. Per Paust, Anne's husband, and a distinguished Ministry of Foreign Affairs official stumbled upon an insidious plot that was a hair's breadth from tragedy. Per's step led him to his apartment building stairwell in Skilbeck, Oslo. A chilling sight greeted him: a 5-kilogram propane gas tank, its vent gaping open, exuding an unsettling air of malevolence. The air seemed to shimmer with danger, for the tank was doused in gasoline, a recipe for devastation. Fire department officials revealed that the entire building teetered on the principle of destruction, a potential catastrophe averted by mere threads of fate. These harrowing near misses, the audacious attempts on the life of Anne and Per, gripped the nation's consciousness. A storm of media frenzy ensued, while a whirlwind of questions, suspicions, and fear took over the minds of the public. Yet in the midst of this perplexing enigma, there was one question that was on everyone's mind. Who was behind these orchestrated acts of terror? As the tendrils of intrigue tightened, the narrative took a very heartbreaking twist. The couple sought respite across the Atlantic, seeking solace in the bustling embrace of New York City. But fate had more in store for the two, and their lives took a somber turn. Per Paust was diagnosed with a relentless adversary: cancer. He valiantly battled the illness but succumbed to this illness on May of 1999, leaving a void in the hearts of those who knew him. Yet the ordeal was far from over. a mysterious specter materialized on the fringes of this case. An anonymous caller, veiled in shadows, delivered a chilling message to the authorities around May 15th. The message was anonymous, a stark warning that Anne Paust and her parents were targets of murder. Despite exhaustive efforts, the elusive caller remained elusive, disappearing into the ether, leaving behind a horrible air of dread. So let's take a second because I want you guys to imagine this scene. Picture the serene landscape of Norway, a realm of mountains and picturesque villages. It's amidst this tranquil backdrop that our story unfolds, a story that begins in the heart of the Orderud farm. The year was 1999, and the Orderud farm in Sørum stood as a symbol of rustic serenity. However, beneath the surface, an undercurrent of tension and secrecy lurked, a fact that would soon send shockwaves throughout the entire nation. The scene opens on May 22nd, 1999, a day that will mark the beginning of a gruesome discovery. In a macabre tableau, 3 lifeless bodies were found, those of Kristin Orderud, Marie Orderud, and their housekeeper, Anne Orderud Paust. A triple homicide that would unravel into one of Norway's most baffling mysteries. As investigators comb through the evidence, a haunting portrait of victims emerge. A prosperous farmer and his wife Marie, a dedicated equestrian, appear to have been caught in a web of violence, while Anne Orderud Paust, a woman with dreams and entrepreneurship, was tragically ensnared in the chaos. The initial shock was swiftly followed by a surge of speculation, and theories began to take root. The nation held its breath as whispers of the family feuds, financial disputes, and hidden intrigues swirled around the Orderud farm, creating a tapestry of suspicion. The investigation's twists and turns revealed a shadowy cast of characters. As the magnifying glass turned toward the family member and associates, the spotlight fell on Kristin Kirkemo, Kristin Orderud's girlfriend at the time. A shocking revelation that added an unexpected layer of complexity to the overall case. During this trial, the courtroom became a stage of high drama. Accusations and counter-accusations echoed through the chambers as the nation watched, captivated by the unfolding drama. The prosecution's case rests on a delicate balance of circumstantial evidence and tantalizing motives. The echoes of the gavel mark the culmination of a legal battle that would leave the nation divided. In December 2001, Kristin Kirkemo and her lover Lars Grønnerød, along with Kristin's brother Marie Orderud, were convicted of a triple homicide. Yet questions lingered. Had the true masterminds been brought to justice? As time marched forward, the Orderud case refused to fade into obscurity. A vivid patchwork of conspiracy theories and alternate narratives continued to be woven. Was this truly a crime of passion, or did a darker force pull the strings from the shadows? Today, the Orderud case stands as a haunting reminder of the complexity of human nature, a puzzle that defies easy answers. As we conclude this chapter, let's take a moment to remember the lives lost, victims of a crime that continues to resonate throughout the corridors of time. So, before you get started, Delila, like I mentioned previously in the beginning of the episode, I want to clarify what's going on here and why this story seems a little bit weird. Obviously, we're going to get deeper into this discussion when we actually talk about it, but I'm just giving you a very quick overall satisfaction so your brain can kind of start putting this thing together. So, this case had a lot of black tape, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you know what that means when it comes to a case having a lot of black tape. What the story is on the surface, it seems like there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. And this story just obviously was very incomplete. And even when you look at some of the resources and do your own research, there's a lot of inconsistencies, and even outside of inconsistencies, there's a lot of just speculative theories that exist online But then some of those theories, or at least a good chunk of them, which some of them we'll talk about today, are very much tied together, and it kind of will make you wonder, did they really get the right person or right people? So that's what I'm going to say to kind of get your minds going. So keep this in mind as we go through the discussion. Now, my dear Delila, go ahead. You can now fully dive into this part.
Like, based on everything that's been said, and as you said, like, it seems like it's random information here and there, and boom, bam, people are dead. So, but I guess, like, just looking at it from the outside, to me, it looks like, why would the dead husband, because he had cancer and he probably died before, I think he died at least before Anne and Anne's parents, Kristian and Marie, died.
Yeah, he did. That is true. He died before his wife. So why would he be like, yeah, let's do this, even though we say he planned it before he even knew he had cancer? Like, it doesn't seem like they had any type of issues, but also like, you know, people are good in relationship. People can hide if they have any issues. I get that, but it just seemed like it was so random. Like, why would you blame, or why would you put that on somebody who's dead? You know, and the other two people, like, why are they involved? Like, I just feel like, okay, so
why? Like, I guess, like, what I want to point out is the motive, you know, because we all know that motives are important, right? And it just seemed like the motive was not there, and that the, you know, detectives and police, they just wanted to find somebody, and we already know that usually murders are people who know the victims. So, I mean, like, maybe they tried to use that and kind of put the blame on the people of the Orderud family. So that's my only, like, thought of the whole story, because it seemed a little bit like random evidence or random facts here and there, and just, it didn't make sense to me, if that maybe clarified my opinion.
Trust me, it's a story that's all over the place. So let me condense some information, not only for you, but also just make it easier for everyone else to digest. So Anne's husband, who his name was, wow, like how I was just about to say his name, and basically my memory was just like, no. But basically, it was Anne and her husband. They were married. Anne was, her last name is Orderud Paust. She took her husband's name, hyphenated. So Paust was the husband's last name. Per Paust is the husband's name. So it's Per Paust and Anne Orderud Paust. Now, the person who got convicted, or the people who got convicted, were Anne's brother.
Yeah, it was the siblings of the husband, wasn't it?
It was the siblings of the wife. Anne's brother, Kristian Orderud, his wife, Veronica Orderud. So basically, it was a brother, the brother's wife, and basically Veronica's sister. So it was on the wife's side, because only the wife and the parents were killed, but they were not killed. They were siblings to the wife.
Kristin Kirkemo and her lover Lars Grønnerød, who are they?
The Kristian's ex-boyfriend Lars, because they were lovers. So basically,
I just need a mind map of all these things, but it's good that you remind, like, me, but also the audience, because, like, as you already know, it just felt like there's a bunch of people just being involved all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's pretty much what, like, it is online, where it's like, these people, they didn't give any details about the investigation. They didn't really say, like, okay, here are what led to these people being discovered. They just mentioned people, like, oh, it was Anne's brother and his wife, and the wife's sister, and the brother's ex-boyfriend, something. I'm just like, it was just weird. And there was no consistency in terms of, like, there was no lead up to it. So basically,
Kristian
it was Anne's.
Is the father of Anne, right?
Kristian is, so let me, one more time. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm trying to stay as consistent as possible because like I said, the story's crazy.
I have like read and tried my best because I just felt like there was a bunch of people getting into the story. Sorry, can you repeat one more time?
No, it's okay. Look, that's exactly what the discussion was for because I knew this was going to happen. So you have Anne's brother, Kristian Orderud, his wife, Veronica Orderud.
Okay.
Veronica's sister, Kristin Kirkemo, and Kristian's ex-boyfriend, Lars Grønnerød. So basically, It was the brother, his wife, the wife's sister, and the sister's ex-boyfriend who were charged.
Okay. I think it's because it's like the sister's brothers. That's why my brain is just like, what's going
so
on?
Trippy.
But okay, thank you for repeating that. Now my brain is with me and with the story. Continue now.
Okay, so it's trippy because, like I mentioned just a second ago,
they're all related.
Even though we
somehow.
got these names, they're related to one of the victims. Well, three of the victims: the wife. Sorry, not the wife. Anna and the two parents. They were killed, and the sibling and the wife's sister and her ex were charged. But the thing was, there was no information saying what their motivation was. No matter how far you look, there's no clarity on their motivation.
And that also messes my brain up. That there's like no motivation, just a bunch of people. Ugh, okay.
And no details, no true, real investigation. Even in the story, it's mentioned even what they brought to court was circumstantial, which means they had no actual evidence. So, and I said before, remember, I said audience, remember, I said there's a lot of black tape. And the last time we dealt with a case that had a lot of black tape, it sounded like a government cover-up. So basically...
Cover up.
So this case, there are a couple theories floating around, all of which technically are kind of related to each other, but just from slightly different perspectives based on the time. So the first theory is they had ties to like the Yugoslavian mafia, which was in relation to like weapons and the war that was going on at the time. Then theory number 2 was that Anne and what's his name, Paul Paust, that's his name, which is a weird name, like whatever. The husband had ties to Norwegian secret. Yeah, the one who died of cancer had ties to Norwegian secret services, which is basically like, Norwegian's version, I guess, of the CIA, I suppose. And then the third theory is that they also had ties to the CIA in regards to kind of some sort of hierarchy, situation, some joint task force kind of theory. So none of which do I have a ton of information on because, like I said, this sounds like a government cover-up.
Cover up.
But the reason why I say, this is more of a fun case because obviously we don't know if the sibling and his people did it. We don't know. But it just seems like there's a lot of inconsistent information. I believe as well, this case is still technically being, like to some level, litigated to some level. So I guess the reason I wanted to bring this case up, and Delila doesn't really have anything to do with this case because I like cases like this.
I like cases like this too. I think there's like up to the people who read about this case or like listeners, so to find these theories and such, because theories are basically trying to patch the in-betweens of a story or of a case. And I think that even though the evidence might not be completely there, I think the theories make a lot of sense. And I think it's always fun and interesting to have like theories or to look and read about, because most of them are really good and like some of them makes a lot of sense to the stories. So I like to like discuss about these different theories as well. I think it makes more sense, and why this all feel like it's all over the place. We had a similar case like this about the cover up kind of
the hotel one, right?
The hotel of the Norwegian the woman. I can't say it. The Plaza woman from the from the Oslo Plaza woman. Oh my gosh, I can't.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's the case. I forgot too. I was just like the woman.
I think that case was like a real interesting one, and there was a lot of people having their theories about it, and so based on that, you can kind of like see relations in this as well, because you know, there's a little bit iffy stuff going on here, in my opinion. I just feel like you can't just like, especially how famous this case was, you can't just be like, okay, these random peeps from the family, they are the perpetrators, let's just put them all in prison.
Yeah. And at least me personally, the reason why I love talking about cases like this, and you already know I love watching anything where like there's a mystery, I think it's interesting to have a chance to think, because y'all hear me say it all the time on these episodes. I'm like, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Well, this is an episode, and I think I said it when we did the Oslo Plaza woman. Usually you can find out or at least get closer to the truth by finding out what you don't know about something. Yeah. So in this case, there is so much information missing. But think of it in real life. If someone's telling you a story and their story has so many holes in it, are you going to believe them, or are you going to realize something seems a little bit off? And stories like this, I think, is a good kind of thinking exercise, but also a realization that not only in our personal lives, but even in a lot of these cases, even sometimes the government, with a lot of these cases as well, these cover-ups, those stories and those, you know, cases have holes in them. And usually that's the good starting point to figuring out the truth, when you realize that there's something missing because it doesn't make sense. And that's sorry, I interrupted you. Continue. No, that's so good. I was just gonna say, you know, usually a good tip, if you want to be like a good person to be observant and figuring things out, is always start from the point where it doesn't make sense. If the parts that make sense, they make sense. But then when things start to fall apart, that's what you need to look into. The parts that are inconsistent, that's what makes a good investigator. As you can tell, when the police, you know, in any case, when they just take things at face value and they don't investigate where things go wrong, that's when you have a poor detective. But effective detectives usually look into the parts that are inconsistent, because in those inconsistencies,
it doesn't make any sense. Yeah,
the truth will be in there somewhere, and that's the reason why they're in that situation. So it's just a good little tip, you know, thinking, you know, just, you know, pay attention to the details and start where things don't make sense, and you'll usually figure out what's going on. I'm done.
I just wanted to say that there are really good journalists criminal journalists that only focus on like criminal things. They do, like, some of them do a really good job in like trying to, like, sometimes even they can solve cases and, you know, send some information or things that wasn't thought about during the investigation. Private detectives also, some of them does a really good job as well. So it's like, for the Oslo Plaza woman, for example, there was a journalist who was having a lot of like trying to find evidence and stuff like that, and saved all of them because, you know, the police or the detectives or whatever the case was done, because it was too old, they kind of just like threw everything away. While the journalists, or some journalist agencies, they kind of save them for a long time in case of like something, I guess. So I just think that it's there are people out there who do their own research, or that, you know, try to investigate certain things that wasn't either like wasn't solved or wasn't really properly investigated on, or a cover-up case like this, for example.
So I think this is my activity to all those people who listen and all that stuff. Whether you choose to let us know, that's entirely up to you. But I would love for you, like, if you want to know more about this case, I want you to look it up. And I want you to look up the theories. And I want you to try and piece together what happened and see if you can figure out the details. Now, obviously, I'm going to give my theories, and so is Delila on the podcast. Of course we are. But I want you to see if you can figure out, you know, your own narrative on the situation. I want to see if you can, put these pieces together, because this is like fun stuff. This is like also why, part of the reason why we do like a true crime podcast. It's like, not only are we talking about cases that are solved already, but we can also talk about cases that don't make sense, because I'm pretty sure you guys seen it online. There are people who have made true crime episodes or documentaries, and then information was inconsistent and someone online figured it out before the police did, or just stuff like that. So I think that's cool, but just look into it, and if you want, let us know what you think about the situation,
because honestly it just feels like this could be a Secret Service thing, like mafia, like all this sounds very much like the theories that would make more sense, like to me at least. So all the three theories just makes more sense than just family members just shooting each other and then nobody knows who he really was, kind of vibe to it. So
yeah, I agree. I think the three theories that we listed specifically here, I think they're all related to each other. I think probably the CIA was in cahoots with the Norwegian Secret Service, and it probably was,
and they wanted
in
to
regard to the Yugoslavian mafia regarding weapons or the war. And unfortunately, because of their position where Anne was on paper, an assistant or whatever, I'm pretty sure they got involved in something that unfortunately, they probably wish they didn't see, and it cost them their life. Usually with these situations, it's a combination of probably a lot of theories. So there's probably even some information we don't have, but I'm pretty confident this is a joint task force cover-up situation that seems to still today be discussed because of how inconsistent this case is and how random these people were in terms of who was charged. So this is definitely screaming government cover-up. In Norway, probably in cahoots with the CIA, maybe even in cahoots with some other countries, who knows, but that's what I think. So I want to thank you guys. I don't know if you have anything else to say, Delila.
I'm pretty chill. I'm down for some food recommendations stuff now.
I'm dead. So I think we're in agreement here. This is a cover-up of multiple governments probably in cahoots. So let's get to the feel-good vibes of the episode. A lot more chill episode, a lot more fun, but more theory-based. So what are you feeling today, Delila? What are you feeling food-wise?
Well, everybody, I've been trying to learn how to be better with cooking meat. So I've been watching a lot of meat videos. I know it sounds weird, but that's what I've been doing. So I'm actually very into a steak with some aromatics of garlic and rosemary and butter.
Would you like me to make you a steak? Would you like me to make you a steak?
I can't hear what you're saying. You're just mumbling right now.
Would you like me to make you a steak?
That sounds lovely, Chef Devante.
I was gonna say like wee, but
wee, wow.
Right? What am I into? Since you bringing up meats, I think today I am in the mood for some good old fashioned brisket, some nice brisket.
That's hard to cook, by the way.
Smoked nice, low and slow for like 12 to 16 hours.
You need a family recipe for that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very simple recipe. You can get a very simple rub or just do half and half of salt and pepper. There's different ways you can do it. Smoking it, get a smoker, unless you got like a really, you can do it technically via grill-ish, but a smoker is safer because, it's basically a more controlled environment, but,
Yeah.
I can do some brisket, some nice juicy brisket, succulent, delicious brisket.
Nice. Yum yum.
So thank you guys for listening today. We appreciate you guys coming back, listening to our episodes, going back, listening, even on the new people who come and listen to the episodes and listen to all the things we've done in the past. We appreciate you. And I hope you're enjoying the podcast. Feel free to reach out anytime, of course, social media, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Reach out. Even though we're horrible at posting, we can completely admit that. We still answer. So if you send a message, we will answer you. That is a guarantee.
And also that, like, if there's any detectives out there who listen to this podcast and they know more about the cases, feel free to just talk about what you found, and we can make another episode of that and just add like more details to the cases we already went through.
That's a good point. If there's any like reporters, detectives, anyone who's involved in any of these cases or the criminal justice system of these countries, and you have valuable information that could really make not only the episode, much better, but just give us more insight into the case, we would love that. We would love if you could, just reach out and just, maybe you want to come on the episode, maybe we can have a little chat and, ask some questions, get some details, get more information, just stuff like that would be great. So if you're listening, feel free to reach out. We will answer. You can get in contact with us, social media and all that stuff. And we'll greatly appreciate, contributing to helping us expose and tell the truth or,
and always be better.
Yes. So we love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Bye.